injury from a car accident pauses your life. Your accident attorneys at Sweet James help you move forward. Call now for a free case review.
Like stars across the sky, we were born to shine. All of us here because we believe.
New at 6, the controversial flock cameras at the center of a heated debate once again.
I don't want any of this stuff in and around the city where I live and where my kids go to school.
Activists now rallying at Pasadena City Hall demanding the removal of the license plate reader technology. What the city is saying. And speaking of debates, in exactly 1 hour, Mayor Karen Bass and Councilmember Nithya Raman will face off in their first mayoral debate. Our political reporter Josh Haskell breaks down what voters can expect. Plus, a pursuit driver goes airborne in South LA. A fraction of a second later, the suspect crashes into multiple vehicles. Why neighbors who lost their cars are not surprised by the dramatic chain of events. And heat and rain are in the forecast. Which communities could see thunderstorms by the end of the week? Eyewitness News at 6 starts now.
This is Eyewitness News with live breaking news.
We'll get to those stories, but first we begin with breaking news. An Amber Alert has been issued for a missing 4-year-old girl. Sella Tillery was last seen at West Manchester Avenue and Hoover Street in Vermont Knolls with 23-year-old Donnell Page. She's wearing a white tank top, blue sweatpants, blue checkered shoes. They are believed to be on foot. Police aren't yet saying if the child is related to Page. If you see them, call 911.
New here at 6, frustration over flock cameras in Pasadena. Concerned neighbors say they want the city to get rid of the surveillance system.
Today, privacy safety groups lined the steps of City Hall to voice their concerns. And Eyewitness News reporter Jericho Tran is there live with what they had to say. Jericho?
Yeah, well, those neighbors were originally supposed to speak at a City Hall meeting today, but that meeting was postponed due to lack of quorum, which essentially just means there were not enough city councilors here to actually hold that meeting. So they took to the steps of City Hall instead. They're worried about these automatic license plate readers, the information that they're gathering, how they're gathering that information, especially as the city looks to expand the use of those cameras. It's kind of winding down right now behind me, so I want to give you a look at what it was like when that rally was in full swing. Take a look right there. Flock cameras have been used in Pasadena since 2023. They are automatic license plate readers. There are about 70 cameras across 20 major city intersections with a focus on the Northwest Pasadena and Rose Bowl areas. The city says they set up the cameras about 3 years ago because of the terrorism concerns surrounding the Rose Bowl. Now they're looking to expand the use of those cameras, but this is not a new conversation. Flock cameras across the country have received criticism. The company says they've updated their system to avoid any misuse of the information gathered, including cutting the data retention rate, with an exception for investigations when video is being used as evidence. Here in Pasadena, there seems to be a divide on whether or not the city should use the cameras, with both the mayor and the vice mayor holding opposing views.
I am against flock cameras in Pasadena right now with this federal administration. I don't think it's safe for us to have this giant pool of our residents' data, where they're going every day, that could be potentially abused by the federal government.
It's not really about flock itself. It's about the use of technology to deter and resolve crimes if and when they occur. And it's been very helpful.
Now, the city says that they are committed to safeguarding residents' rights. As for the flock camera contract, that is set to expire September 25th, 2027. There will definitely be another hearing in between that time for residents to voice their concerns. Here in Pasadena, Jericho Tran, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Jericho, thank you. LA Mayor Karen Bass and her challengers, City Council member Nithya Raman, are set to face off in their first debate of the general election. Homelessness, housing, public safety, and government accountability are expected to be among the hot topics. Our political reporter Josh Haskell is live in Sherman Oaks, where the debate is set to take place in less than an hour. Josh?
Yeah, it is debate night in Sherman Oaks, and I have to tell you, David and Giovanna, there is a lot of enthusiasm here outside the debate. It doesn't start for an hour for these two candidates. Take a look. We have Nithya Raman supporters. They are here with the Carpenters Union, and there's also a number of Bass supporters here, all part of different unions supporting the candidates. This debate is going to be hosted by the Chamber of Commerce for Sherman Oaks and Encino, also by the Neighborhood Council, also by the Homeowners Association. This is the first time that Nithya Raman and Karen Bass have faced off since the primary, and I can tell you a big topic tonight will, of course, be homelessness. Now, in the primary, Bass received over 34% of the vote, and Raman ended up with 29%. Raman has pointed out how roughly 2/3 of voters voted against Bass and want a different direction for the city. In terms of homelessness, Loss's homeless count showed a nearly 50% reduction in street homelessness in Raman's district, but homelessness went up across the city. Bass and Raman have argued over why that is, and Bass has accused Raman of benefiting from the Inside Safe Homeless program. Raman has also called the decision to remove her as chair of the Housing and Homelessness Committee a politically motivated move because she's running against Bass.
I'm a lifelong resident of Los Angeles, a lifelong resident of Sherman Oaks. My father grew up in Boyle Heights, so I've been through many election cycles, and it is getting a lot harder to know who the candidates are. So social media doesn't tell the whole story, and so these types of things are very important.
So it should be a very heated night inside this debate. This is the second time that they're meeting here. There was a debate during the primary. I'll have all the highlights tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 p.m. David and Giovanna.
Josh, you're right. That is one enthusiastic crowd. Now, the debate doesn't start for another hour. How long have they been there waiting?
Well, there was actually an impromptu press conference from Karen Bass supporters earlier, and they were saying that Nithya Raman has missed votes on the council. This debate tonight is being held in her district. That is when the Carpenters Union, who endorsed Nithya Raman, showed up. They've been going at it. The attacks already beginning. Again, the debate doesn't start for 1 hour. I'll send it back to you.
Should be an interesting debate. Josh Haskell, we'll look forward to your report. Thank you. The Los Angeles City Council has voted to lift homeless camping bans in certain parts of Hollywood, Echo Park, and Silver Lake. The bans now being removed in 12 zones that had been deemed sensitive areas, including libraries, senior centers, and freeway overpasses. Councilmember Hugo Soto Martinez called for the bans to be lifted in his district, arguing they have not been effective in addressing encampments and that criminalizing homelessness just adds to the crisis. Not all council members agreed. 3 voted against lifting the ban.
New at 6 o'clock, the Simi Valley PD just released disturbing new video of a police shooting inside Los Robles Hospital. It happened in early July. An officer was guarding a suspect who had been arrested earlier in the day for attempted murder of his wife and who was being treated for self-inflicted injuries. According to police, the patient had broken a glass vial and was using it as a weapon, first on himself and then to attack the officer. Police say the officer shot once, hitting the suspect. He survived and was released from the hospital several days later and booked into jail.
A violent end to a police pursuit. Look at this. The car being chased goes airborne and crashes into several parked cars, causing major damage. It happened in South Los Angeles. Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand is there live with the video and some of the people whose cars was smashed. Jory.
Yeah, Giovanna, smashed and completely destroyed. Several cars parked along this avenue were lost when that speeding driver fleeing from police lost control, went airborne and cut some cars in half. A car being chased by LAPD officers goes airborne in South LA. More than half a dozen cars parked on 114th Street were damaged or completely totaled, including Hector Gutierrez's, whose car served as the launching pad and wound up ostensibly sawed in half.
I heard the crash first, then I heard the sirens. I thought it was just like a minor, but then you go to the other side, then it's just the roof is completely gone from the other side.
His car was the first to get hit. Shada Morales' was the last.
I sent my sibling to come out, and then they call me and they're like, Shada, your car is the one that's messed up. Just crazy the way that you see the other car set up. You know, it went over.
We're going to be in pursuit of a reckless driver. We're going to be going eastbound Imperial from Maine.
The driver that caused this mess was somehow able to walk away from the crash with simply a broken nose. He was handcuffed to a gurney and taken to the hospital. While scenes like this are unusual, this stretch has seen several crashes in the past.
Things happen several times. About a year and a half, there's 3 big accidents on this same area.
And in fact, Hector Gutierrez knows firsthand of the dangers.
Because that's like the third time they've hit it here in this intersection or neighborhood.
So this keeps happening in the same position. The question is, what can be done to change it? That driver, once he's released from the hospital, will be taken into custody by the LAPD if that hasn't happened already, facing several charges. And now all those people who have lost their cars and their insurance companies have to find rides for these drivers who are suddenly left carless. Reporting live outside the LAPD Southeast Division Station, Jory Rand, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, and everybody else is fearful to just park on that street, Jory. Thank you for that report. New details of the death of actress Hayden Panettiere. We are now learning that DEA is joining the investigation and will help local police on the case. Panettiere died Sunday in South Carolina. The cause of her death is still being determined, but she was apparently with her on and off again boyfriend when she died. Police say he showed officers a bag of medicine she was taking. Panettiere was only 36. ABC News has reached out to her rep for comment on the latest developments.
Just ahead, a local man was supposed to protect the most vulnerable.
Instead, he's